There is literally no way I'm going to be able to get through this. Hi guys, welcome to my channel, A Spark of Sam. I'm Sam, and today we're going to be talking about my October TBR. So it's been a hot minute since I've made a TBR video, since July. I know I've been really absent on here, but life has been crazy in the absolute best way, and I'm hoping to get back into the swing of things from now through the holiday season and beyond. But we'll see. So I have a ginormous fall TBR, and honestly I could have made it so much longer, but I had to cut myself off and be a little bit realistic. So we're going to start off with the books that I definitely want to get through, and then everything else I'm just going to call bonus books, because that would just be like a mental boost if I could at least get a couple of my bonus books, but we'll see. Now, this is my physical TBR. I normally listen to a ton of audiobooks, but it's just like what is available on my Libby, what I find on Hoopla, all of that. So this is like my physical TBR, which I do tandem read a lot of these, but if I can't get the audio, I'm forcing myself to read these regardless. So let's get started. First off is one of my books that was actually on my September TBR that I didn't get to. Besides that, I finished my September TBR. I was so proud of myself. But that's the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I've had this book since last year, and I've never read a Grady Hendrix. I started listening to my best friend's Exorcism, and then I got busy with life and haven't been able to finish it. I heard that this is not a sequel to my best friend's Exorcism, but like a same town, same things happening, same time frame, like that kind of thing. So to my knowledge, you don't have to read my best friend's Exorcism, but do with that information as you will. This is horror based. I heard Grady Hendrix is a little quirky with it, but I'm really excited. It's got vampires. It's got horror. I am all for it for this time of year. Well, and honestly, any time of the year, but especially this time of year. Next up has to be one of my most anticipated books of the year. I have been wanting to read this book since it came out earlier this year. And now I have the best excuse, because if you didn't know, I have my own Patreon, and I have a bi-monthly book club that's associated with my Patreon. My Patreon is for all of the people who just cannot fit in one niche. We're the lover of all things, whether that's gardening, exercise, crafting, books, and so much more. My Patreon is all about fun things that we love to do every single day. And since I love books so much, we have a book club, and my Patreons have picked Heartless Hunter by Kristen. I'm gonna butcher this last name. Kristen Sicaroli? If you didn't know, The Heartless Hunter is also called Crimson Moth. So if you're in another country or you're having a hard time finding it, it does have different titles based on your geography. I'm obsessed with this cover. I saw it and heard just a little snippet about it, and I bought it. I mean, I think I pre-ordered it, but it might have come out already. So without reading the whole synopsis, I'm just going to read you the little blurb at the top. But it says, enemies to lovers doesn't get much more high stakes than a witch and a witch hunter falling in love in a best-selling author's latest romantic fantasy. They had the author's name again. I'm so sorry for not being able to pronounce it. But what is better than a witch and a witch hunter romantasy in the fall? Nothing. This was also rated 4.21 on Goodreads. So I feel like it's gonna be pretty good. I'm so excited, and the next book comes out in February, so it's not that long of a wait once we read it. And I can't wait to read it with my sparkles. That's what my Patreons decided they wanted to be called. If you want to join the Spark Society, I have a link below. It's $5 a month. There's only one tier, and I would love to have you and chat about this book with you guys. Next is a book that's completely out of left field, but I was able to get the audio on Libby, and I figured with all of the fantasy I have been reading and plan to read, this is going to be a great palate cleanser. That, and it's just a short little book, and that's When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I have read other books by Sarah Adams, and I like them. I thought they were really cute, not my favorite. And really, I'm just trying to read When in Rome so I can get to Practice Makes Perfect. As soon as I saw Practice Makes Perfect, the color just screamed to me. If you don't know, Practice Makes Perfect, it's about a florist, and then there's a guy with like tattoos, and it just reminds me of myself and my husband, where When in Rome is about a pop star meets a small town baker, and I bet you can guess what happens from there. I love the spin that it's When in Rome, but it's Rome, Kentucky, which Rome, Kentucky, I have never been to, but I've been to London, Ohio, and Paris, Tennessee. I've also been to Paris, France, but I just love visiting towns with that name. So that part is very appealing to me, and I can't wait to get to this. Also, Kira, if you're on here, I'm so sorry I didn't buddy read this with you. She was able to get to this a couple months ago and flew through it, where I didn't even pick up a book in that time span. But I'm excited to finally get to this one. I am on my Sarah J. Maas Throne of Glass continuation. I finished Era of Fire last month and absolutely loved it, and I cannot wait to get to Queen of Shadows. My goal is to finish the Throne of Glass series by the end of the year, if not sooner, because I would also love to finish up the Crescent City series ASAP. I mean, Sarah J. Maas just does it the best. But I have all of these other fantasies that I'm hoping I just don't get overwhelmed with. This is a bigger book, but I've been tandem reading all of the Throne of Glass books and really, really enjoying the narration of it and helping me along with all the pronunciation of the characters, because if we know fantasy, we know the pronunciation can be pretty dang hard. This book, I have literally owned the entire box set for over a year and have always wanted to get to it, but I keep putting it off, like next month, next month, next month. Well, I'm really hoping that this is the month to do it. My friend April from Tis So Sweet and I are hoping to buddy read this, and I might actually offer it as a buddy read to my Patreons, because this was one of our choices as well, and that is Caravel by Stephanie Garber. I have heard so many people say how much they loved this series, and then once you finish the Caravel series, you can get to Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I heard so many fantastic things about that. So I would love to be able to start and finish the Caravel series so that I can move on to Once Upon a Broken Heart next year. If you haven't heard about this book, honestly, it's pretty surprising because it's been out for a hot minute. Like I said, I bought the whole box set last year. Now, there is like Christmas novella, I think, coming out this year, or might already be out, called Spectacular. And so I would also like to be able to read that after I read through all of these books. Now you're probably thinking, that's a lot of books right there. And you would not be wrong. In fact, you'd be very, very correct. But this is a book I have been wanting to read since I finished the first book, which was early last year. I kept putting it off. I don't know why. I'm just really bad at continuing series. Not that I don't love them. I just get caught up on what's the new next thing. So I'm really trying to finish up some of these series by the end of the year. That, and this is the perfect time to read this book, and that's The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. I read Serpent in the Wings of Night early 2023, and I loved it. I did read Six Scorched Roses, which is the novella in this series that is suggested to read second. It is the most impactful little novella I can ever remember reading. I absolutely loved both of them. 5 stars for me. So the fact that I haven't gotten to this book yet is crazy. It's about vampires and an amazing female lead that I just absolutely love. And I can't wait to continue on with it. However, I think I've just been a little taunted by this book, and I haven't gotten the audio for it because it's only on Audible. I've recently gotten Audible, but there's only so many credits, so I might have to buy more credits or just buy this book. It is my birthday month, so maybe I'll ask for that for my birthday because I love the first 2 books so far, and I cannot wait to get to this one. I already have a feeling it's 5 stars. I am a part of the Girlies Who Read book club, which is a Patreon hosted by my friend Jordan at Jordan Elaine. If you don't know Jordan, you are 110% missing out. I absolutely love Jordan's aesthetic, ideas, literally everything she does is amazing. Her book club is every month, and this month the members chose One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, which, if you can see, I have already read this book. I read this with the Tales of Starlight book club that I co-host with my friend April, and I really loved this book. I gave it 4 stars, but honestly, I think about it a lot, so maybe my rating will go up. I would love to be able to reread this book because it's been a hot minute since I've read it. However, I haven't been able to get the audio yet, so we will see if I get to reread it. Otherwise, I'll be there for the discussion, and I know everyone's going to have some awesome talking points that's going to refresh my brain on the story. But a book I would like to get to, we will see, time depending, is Two Twisted Crowns. This is the second book in this duology. I have made it... I don't know, I took my bookmark out. Whoopsies. I made it about halfway. I didn't have the audio, or I did for a short time and then I lost it, and then I was trying to read it without the audio, and my life had just been chaotic. My brain couldn't really focus, but this one kind of switched up from the first one, but I was still really enjoying it, and I would love to also finish this just because it's such eerie, spooky vibes. I loved the dark academia aspect of it and would love to finish it this month. Another book club I am a part of is the Libronauts. It's a free book club hosted by my friend Elise at Literally Elise. It's a sci-fi book club, which I am not a big sci-fi fan, but Elise has been totally changing my mind on that. She has picked some really amazing books with a wide variety of what is considered like sci-fi in the genre. And her pick this month is This Time Tomorrow by Emma Straub. I have not been able to find the audio, so I don't know if I'll be able to participate with this one. I can get it on my Kindle, but as you guys saw, I have a big TBR, and this would be my first one that I missed out on. But I wanted to let you guys know about it just in case, because I think Elise has been doing an amazing job with her book club. I love her discussions. They've been so fun, and she has such amazing guests and monthly co-hosts with her. So please check her out and check out her book club, because I think we all need to branch out of our comfort reading group every now and then. But wait, there's more. I understand that there's probably very little chance of me getting to these books, but I really want to read them, and if I get the chance, they're kind of like a mood read, and if I get to them, I don't have any particular like ranking on priority, but they're just ones I want to get to. The first one is The Coven by Harper L. Woods. A big reason I want to get to this, first off, is it just looks eerie and spooky, and I want it. I mean, I wanted it from the time I saw the cover, and now I just want to dive in. Also, if you guys haven't seen, they came out with the hardcover edition with sprayed edges, and I told myself I can't buy it until I read the one I have. So a big goal is to read this so I can buy the sprayed edges one and the second one. I told myself that was a fair deal. It does say that there are trigger and content warnings. It says The Coven is a dark paranormal romance with gothic vibes in a dark academia setting. The male lead in the series is pushy, domineering, and manipulative. He goes beyond typical morally gray anti-hero and is, in my opinion, an actual villain who gets his HEA. I don't know what that means. But triggers include dubious consent, force feeding, graphic violence, rough and explicit sexual content, forced proximity, betrayal, references to past abuse, and traumatic reactions to triggering stimuli, knife violence, graphic depictions of blood, physical harm inflicted upon the main character, ritualistic murder. Okay, this book is not going to be for everyone. I don't think it'll trigger anything with me, but I don't know. That does sound a lot more graphic than I was expecting. So please know that going in, that this just might not be the book for you. I'm still kind of excited for it. Now, the next one I've had for a long time, and since I read Verity, I've been dying to read this one as well. Verity was my #1 Colleen Hoover book I've ever read, and Layla is one that I haven't read yet. So most of Colleen Hoover's books I can read in like a day or two. So I threw this one in there because I really think that this would be, even though it's kind of along the same spooky and thriller vibes, it's a Colleen Hoover book, and I don't know. I enjoy Colleen Hoover, and I think her writing is really easy to read. So we'll see how this one goes. And the last book is a newer book I have gotten. I got it last month with Book of the Month, and have only heard absolutely amazing things about it, and that's Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I am so excited to read this book. I don't know if I'll get to it. If I don't get to it this month, it is high on my list for next month, even though November to me is more Christmassy. I don't care. I will read all the spooky books until I finish all my spooky books, because otherwise we'll be here forever. But this is one that I really want to get to, and hopefully, maybe, we will see. Okay, I promise, that's it. I know, that's crazy. I don't think I'll get through all of these. Actually, like, I know there's no way I'm gonna get through all of these. But a girl can dream, right? Right? Thank you guys so much for being here. If you haven't yet, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't either, if you like this content. And if you made it this far, please leave a skull emoji just so I know that you watched it all the way through, because it means so much to me. Have a great fall season and a great October, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!